Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. 5 years ago, Dennis Skinner was ordered from this chamber for calling the then Prime Minister, David Cameron, Dodgy Dave. We already knew that David Cameron was callous. His social security and immigration policies showed that. We knew that he was incompetent. The damage he caused to the union showed that. And now, thanks to the Greensill scandal, we have further proof that he is indeed dodgy. There's no doubt that David Cameron behaved improperly, yet we cannot let this scandal be reduced to the actions of a single disgraced politician. The Greensill scandal involves the Chancellor, the Health Secretary, 2 Treasury Ministers, a senior civil servant, and God knows who else. It also shows just how lax the rules on lobbying are and how this culture has infected the heart of government. Greensill is the latest in a seemingly unending conveyor belt of cronyism scandals under this government. In the last 16 months, we've had the West Ferry development and the Towns Fund scandal. Government contracts are being handed to the Health Secretary's pub landlord and to firms linked with Dominic Cummings and to the Conservative Party, while billions have been wasted on a test and trace system run by the partner of a sitting Conservative MP. I could go on. At the start of this pandemic, the government promised to do everything it could. I assumed that this meant everything ministers could do to defeat the virus, not everything they could do to make their rich mates even richer. In the Labour Party, we listen to the voices of the workers and the disenfranchised. The Conservatives listen to the greed of their chums and the donors. For many of them, this pandemic was simply an opportunity. And it makes me sick that the Chancellor pushed officials to help a wealthy ex-Prime Minister while ignoring the excluded. And when I raised the struggles of a business in Durham, the Chief Secretary to the Treasury told me that not every single job will be protected. Did the Chancellor tell David Cameron that not every stock would be protected? We cannot have another classic whitewash where the government marks their own homework. It's time for a proper inquiry, not just into Greensill, but into the culture of corporate lobbying that plagues politics. It's a sad fact that the public don't trust politicians, but when they see this scandal, or any of the others overseen by this government, then who can blame them? We need to demonstrate a commitment to ending this lobbying culture that protects the interests of the few at the expense of many. And that starts with a proper inquiry. I expect my protests will fall upon the deaf ears of a government who cannot hear me or the pleas of my constituents over the words of corporate lobbyists. But David Cameron's actions have once again shown that Tory ministers cannot be trusted. So in the absence of the beast of Bolsover, I will still refer to our former Prime Minister as Dodgy Dave.